Yellow Spice has a special place for me. So I definitely, when Priya asked, I definitely thought, I should come in and pitch in with whatever, I can. And today just wanted to have a areas of focus all across India right now. And something that I felt would be relevant to, you as designers, that, what major role you can play, you are playing, and, where the industry really needs you. So I just thought I'll touch upon a little bit on that. So if you see, so I wanted to talk about consistency in communication, which is, I think, a major gap area across, Indian companies that's coming out, in almost all the researches that are happening. And I think this is a great topic to touch upon because you guys are majority of you are designers, and you have major contribution towards this space. So I just thought we can have a chat around that. And when we talk about it, right, the first thing is obviously, what connects the entire space, right, from your marketing to your sales to your customer success, right? It's a journey. Like the first, we can talk about a marketing funnel, but marketing funnel is just selling a certain story, right? And that story starts with the brand itself. So that is, I think, the way we first talk about brand. And then why is brand experience important? Because obviously some no-brainer answers would be that it's going to improve your sales, it's going to increase your brand awareness, there's going to be loyalty, equity, and of course you differentiate, right? And then company, how do things fall into place with a brand, right? So there's marketing, there's sales, there's quality, there's pricing, and then there's service. So what is brand actually helping you achieve in terms of your entire uh, uh, business that is there, right? So it comes down to certain questions, right? So why is it easier to use Zerodha or Grow versus but it's not any more convenient to go to your nearest bank and open a demat account, right? Why what is that is making you use Zerodha or a Grow or a Coin or a Kite, right? There is something that is changed for you fundamentally, right? Then why is it easier for someone from an agency like Landor or O&M to book a meeting with the prospective customer, while for others they have to struggle with 3 or 5 or 6 follow-ups, right? There is a difference somewhere. Then why do prospective customers find it easier to trust a TCS or an Accenture or an Infosys versus somebody which is a more competent startup, right? It kind of boils down towards branding, right? Where you're talking about your target, your innovation, your strategy, all of this. And now coming back to the entire branding thing, why is it important? Because you already know that branding is not just a logo and a color palette or a typography or a style guide that you create, right? It is much more. It's a story, it's a positioning, it's a messaging. There's visual and emotional language involved in this. So what is it that is actually going to be different versus that is not already done so far? So this becomes a way for you to understand that branding is the foundation on which the trust, long-term trust, will be built, right? Now I want you to take a pause and just think, in whatever I showed you so far, did anything feel odd? Did anybody feel anything was odd so far in what I said or spoke?
Um, you did not connect anything with business, like
Yes,
business as
it
well.
was very inconsistent, right? Everything
Yes.
was inconsistent, and it was intentionally inconsistent because somewhere each of you were not you're here because it's a program for all of us. You're seeing this presentation because it's right in front of you, right? But there's an unexplained feeling in your gut which is making you feel odd or disconnected with it. It is one is I was speaking too fast. Second, I was speaking without giving a connect between slides intentionally, right? And yeah, I was trying to rush through topics at a high level, right? Now, if I go back slide by slide, this slide is it signifies how we over communicate sometimes, right? There's too much information to read. If I were to read so much information, send so much information, or design with so much text on a website or a brochure or a deck, I have lost the client, right? I'm pretty convinced that 80% of you did not read what I showed on this screen, right? That's what inconsistency in stuff brings here. This was a hazy messaging. I intentionally I picked up some random image from the internet. I just put it there because it talks about the keyword branding, but I barely went beyond target and innovation. I just assumed you would read it or self understand it, right? So this becomes a major gap area, and I will come to each of these sections why it matters. But I want you to think that what makes people uneasy when an experience is inconsistent. Now in this one, I wrote two questions, right? I just or maybe just thought provoking sentences, right? But visually there is a disconnect again, right? You'll immediately not be able to place it, right? But maybe the hardcore designers in you would immediately figure out that there are two different fonts, right? One is an Arial and one is an Encode Sans. So inconsistency in even your text, it kind of gives you an odd feeling in your gut that something's not right, even though you're not immediately able to place it, right? Abhi, the designers amongst you would have probably figured it out as soon as they saw it and be like, what is this, right? But the and normal business people, right? For them, they wouldn't think of it that, oh, the fonts are different, but they would be like, something doesn't feel right about this, right? And they would just stop at that, and then they would probably lose interest or think, oh, let me just get back to it later. All of us know later never comes, right? Here again, right, the sentence is misaligned, right? There is no alignment in this sentence. Even though I've tried to put a thought-provoking question there, it was there. This is a very hazy image that I have just picked up and just put there. And we are talking about quality, pricing, service, all of these elements, but there is no connect with the story. And similarly, here I'm just giving random gyan while I'm actually, the topic was consistent communication, whereas I immediately jumped into brand without connecting the dots, right? So this is the gut feel that actually leaves people uneasy when your messaging and your communication is not consistent. So that's the point I want to start with, right? That this is a fundamental mistake most of us make until unless someone points it out to us. But the problem is that many times we are in a situation where the client would not point this out to us because for them you have not given depth of thought, right? So this is why we need to make sure that we understand the flip side as well, right? Now how many of you understand what is who are we talking about? You guys understood? Can you guess the brand?
LV.
Yes, that's LV, right? So the moment we talk about it, we understand that as soon as we see the monogram here, or we see their iconography, we immediately know that this is the brand that's being spoken about. And the moment you hear about or understand or perceive that this is LV, what are the first few words that come across in your head?
Luxury brand.
Luxury, premium bags.
I
Right.
could not.
Yeah, overpriced bags.
Yeah, fair enough. So exactly, I think each of you has there is brand recognition, there is awareness, and there is a feeling that you associate with it, right? Depending on how you look at it. For someone this is aspirational, for someone it's a waste, someone it's okay to have, someone it's a must have. So there are different connotations, and there's a word universe that starts to assimilate, right? Where we talk about overpriced bags, it's expensive, it's luxury, all of that, right? And how do you actually reach there, right? Now if you see this, like this is a standalone ad, right? There are two men playing chess, that's it, right? But what makes this image stand out, right? Because these two are not regular men from the neighborhood mall. They are stalwarts in their own games, right? And game and so for us to understand that Cristiano or Messi together in a frame with a LV suitcase as a chessboard. Now imagine the kind of positioning you are having, right? These are two men who are top in their game, like top in their space. And then you have, and they obviously the immediate correlation would be that they would also use something that is top in its space, right? And that is where silent positioning, a story is starting to get created just in visuals. They've not mentioned LV anywhere other than using that table and suitcase, right? Similarly, if you see these I'm just using the LV as an example because I think this is something that most of us are aware of, and how a story and a narrative gets created, right? So traditionally everybody knows that these browns and caramels are like LV's colors, right? But now with the retro and pop culture coming up on board, and everybody wanting to especially with the Gen Z coming in, there's a pop of color everywhere, right? And how do you make that shift from to make, to cater to a new audience, right? When you already have a stereotype of being very classy, very snobbish with those browns and caramels, right? So you bring in an icon of that space, top in her game in the music space. And then she's the pop queen, right? And she's the it person in her space, and you associate all the colors with her, right? Similarly, here we have another so Deepika Padukone is more associated with elegance, right? Her style is generally considered like that. So she's not using the immediately traditional LV pieces, but she's using those modernist elegant pieces, right? So there's a storyline which is visually just being created. Why I'm giving all of this is context is that because brand is not just your first impression, it is your also going to be your last impression, right? And brand is what is going to build trust, because and that starts with design. So now this is like a very simplistic view of how things are interconnected and interdependent, and how they queue up and stack up, right? So once you've created your major brand strategy, which is your story, your positioning, understanding your target audience, defining your mission, your visual identity, all of that is done, right? It needs to be extremely cohesive. Because once you as designers will understand this, it is only then that marketing can sell this ahead, right? Not just for you as Yellow Slice, but even for your customers. Because whatever you are creating, right, that has to have feet on the ground, but it should be aiming for towards the sky, right? And that is where this entire narrative has to be very strongly knit with understanding of your clients' expectations, as well as their briefs, as well as the gap between where they are and where they want to be, right? So this becomes important. And once you've figured your brand strategy, the next logical phase is to start marketing it, right? So once those LV designers design that scarf, or and Accenture says that I'm going to start tax advisory, so that becomes your strategy, right? After that, the marketing team takes over. The marketing team now will start building awareness. It will start doing lead generation. It will start marketing for it. And where are the things which are corely connected is that your entire brand strategy will flow through towards the website, and it will also flow into the SEO, the newsletters, the blogs, the emails that you send out, all of it, right? And then where once this becomes a connected dot, then people start listening that, oh wow, this XYZ brand is doing like a fantastic job. They're a fintech company, and they're doing all of this. They had somebody reach out to me, and a very nice polished marketing person spoke to me. I feel that they've got their head sorted, and let me just understand more of it, right? So now, if until that point your brand is consistent, and now when you come to sales, suddenly that changes, right? It's going to be a break of trust, right? A breach of trust for the prospective customer, which is why sales needs to feed off marketing, right? The salesperson themselves needs their own talent aside, right? To be able to do good sales, to build good relationships. They need to be bolstered and supported by a very strong marketing and brand narrative, right? And that becomes elemental in closing a deal. Once you've closed the deal, you move towards customer success, where you have your existing clients, right? Where your clients, your prospective customers turn into paying clients, and these paying clients can then be actually retained, because that what is easier is to actually retain an existing client versus have somebody come and get another client, go win another client, right? So this is something important that needs to flow. So once the brand strategy has been fixed, right, your marketing needs to come in. So I just took an example here again, obviously we start just scam through the LV example, but here is something regarding healthcare services, right? So here are two competing hospital chains of India. One is Apollo Hospitals and the other is the Medanta Group, right? So if you see, how they I'm sure there must be like a very talented team of designers who sat and made the websites. There would be a good market team and co-research team who went and did the brand strategy, all of that, right? But still, they're selling the same services. Effectively, they're both hospital chains, right? Popular and prominent hospital chains, but the way they talk about themselves is so different, right? If you see, the first one, it's actually talking about straight go talking about what kind of diseases or remedies they can cure. The second one has got a static, like the first one had a carousel image where things were moving. The second one, Medanta, had a static image where the founder, Dr. Trehan, his image is posted there, and it's basically themed around him, right? So he's the centerpiece there, versus in the first case where they're talking about healthcare in general. Then if you see how they message themselves, right? Here the first one is talking about be at the highest peaks, not in hospital beds, right? So they are actually giving a person a futuristic view of themselves, that hey, you don't belong to a hospital bed, we are a hospital bed, we'll take care of you, but this is not where you belong somewhere else, right? You go out and go conquer the world. But in the second case, the immediate immediately below the hero landing page, they have their messaging flips to, we are an ecosystem for clinical excellence, and this and they just have a list of specialities that they want to highlight. So what is feeling different so far? If you see just this, right, what do you think is the difference between the language here in terms of marketing? Like what would be easier to sell?
I think it depends because the second one clearly is selling their services, while like an ecosystem for clinical excellence. And the first one is indirectly selling their services. Like you do not belong to hospital bed, but somehow we know that Apollo is the one of the hospitals, right?
I
Right.
think it also depends on the TG that you're trying to sell. Many times, even if there are people who are trying to talk the economics, so it would be more from their point of view also that more cheaper. So I think since there are it's
That's
We
correct.
lost
I
you,
think
Kishore. Yeah.
they're trying to talk about the TG. TG is the core thing here, that they're trying to segment it differently. Like one is trying to create a very crisp communication style where they're saying, hey, you know your problem, that you need cardiac care. In the second case, if you see, they're assuming the person clearly knows where they belong, right? If I need cardiac care, if I'm feeling heart palpitations, I'm going to go to the cardiac care. I'm not going to go to neuroscience for that. But the thing is, in the first one, what they're doing is they're trying to create a different, holistic health aura around themselves, right? So their TG is somebody who is may or may not be aware, but understands that health is a priority, just that, right? For them, they're not clear that I have mental health issues or physical health issues or heart or pain or lungs or kidney. They're not aware or may not be aware, right? So here in the first one, the messaging they're taking is in a different way. The target audience is separating, diverging for each of them. And this is what it matters, the way people position, like how you design, and even the design language is very different. Like here, when they actually talk about be at the highest peaks, they've got a image in the background of peaks, right? So that the design itself is speaking to me, like it is actually making me imagine, that, oh, I could go hiking on a mountain, right? It suddenly energizes me that yeah, I want to be in the best of my health if I need to climb like a 5,000 or 6,000 meter tall mountain. So this is the way they have differentiated between each other.
I have a one question, Deepika. So I like the
Sure.
way you kind of connected marketing with, branding with eventually sales. It was great to see that. And
Thanks.
uh, so most of it, yes, brand is there when we build for high brands like luxurious brands and like more B2C kind of brand. So and then you touched upon like hospitals, but that's more on a B2C side when you're talking to consumers.
Right.
B2B, I think certain areas you mentioned that it goes beyond just your brand manual and logo, like even how you communicate and all that. Is there
Yes.
any suggestion that you would give? Let's say if it is B2B brand,
Right.
uh, is there some don'ts or do's that we need to keep that in mind while especially working with B2B brands, which is mostly service related, not really targeting to a mass audience over there?
Right. So I think for B2B, this is equally relevant, because eventually what happens is, so for example, if let's say take the example of professional service providers, right? So in professional service providers, they're mostly B2B. They're not doing it at a mass scale. They're doing it in a very targeted audience. Now here, having that consistency to flow in from right from your brand story towards the marketing, and then when your sales jumps in, when your first touch point is established by marketing, and it is the marketing qualified lead is transitioning towards the sales qualified lead, brand actually plays a very important role, because the digital food crumbs that you leave around, right? In terms of what they call the dark funnel, right? Where people can go and read about you without you knowing where they are reading about you. It could be like your Google reviews, or they could be your marketplace listings, or they could be your Reddit or Quora questions or anything like that, right? So those are like areas, or maybe they're just calling up somebody, they see that, oh, this guy is a client of theirs, I know this person there, let me just pick the call, and it's untraceable, right? So you have to make sure that that sales is able to marketing is able to support sales by leaving those correct digital footcrumbs. And then there is also your sales, which needs to actually tie into the brand promise, right? So what if marketing is saying that I'm going to build you the Eiffel Tower, right? And they're saying that we can build it in 8 months time. When sales takes over, they need to actually start talking facts which bolster that marketing claim, that yeah, we can do that. If you have XYZ ready, we can actually do it in 8 months. If not, then it might even take 10 months, but then this is the time frame, this is how we are going to do it. These are the level of deliverables we have. And the slide that I showed, right, it was actually more I considering a B2B space, where each of your brand promise that your marketing has promised, sales needs to live up to it. Sales needs to make sure that if we are saying that we are very we have great quality work, show that. If you are saying we are very punctual and time bound, show that. If we are saying that we make sure that you are getting the best in class service, show that. Having your but that also requires marketing enabling it to have everything ready before it, right? Sales going in and saying that I'm let me just send you some more information about myself, but marketing taking 1 week to send you with that information will cause a delay, right? So somewhere here marketing readiness needs to support sales, but then sales needs to also ensure that if they are saying that we are very punctual, they are actually if I say I'll get back to you in a day, if I reach back to you within half a day, that shows that I'm eagerly working on it, and this is the kind of timelines you can expect. And also
Got that. So,
having an sorry.
I think got that. So essentially, what you're saying is being consistent, right? From branding, marketing, sales, everyone, wherever
Yes.
they are going, there is a consistency that needs to be maintained, whether it's a proposal or whether it's a website or branding or any touch
Yes.
point where where they're coming from. Got that.
Exactly.
I have
Exactly.
one question. Yeah. How can we build a strategy? You mentioned about client retention and existing clients, right? That we can get more clients from that. So how can we build a strategy to get more business from the existing clients?
So there needs to be like a mechanism in which there are regular touch points from multiple stakeholders. So for example, generally, I think one fallback, especially that this is more relevant in B2B, is that once a sale is completely done and the person becomes, or a company becomes your client, right? You tend to transition that relationship to the operations team or the delivery team, right? But it does not give your and then the relationship transition is limiting your space to increase business. So your salesperson actually reaching out regularly to make sure that hey, like just once in a month or maybe once in 2 months, just give him a call saying, hey, how is it going, anything I can assist with, anything I can do, right? Your marketing also reaching out, having a separate program for existing clients where they say these are the latest new things we've done for other clients in case if anything interests you, right? Talking them through what is happening new in their industry, which could be of interest, which could be an upsell, which could be a cross sell, bringing in that value through a targeted approach will also help you to actually do that, right? To ensure a longer engagement with an existing client. And then consistency, of course, like I said, right? Communication, consistency between all of these. And then also making sure that if you are consistent with your messaging, there is set up a referral program, set up introductions program, where your clients feel that they're part of your team, right? Hey, you and I share the same value of authenticity, let's do this together, right? Now the thing is, everybody, it's a human nature to want to associate with something positive, right? If you say that I stand for something really positive, and I say hey Kishore, you are also very so much into brand consistency, I'm also so much into brand consistency, let's do something together, why don't you introduce me to someone who you think might be interested in the similar space. So now suddenly what will happen is that because the other person is hearing, and he or she will feel like, yes, I am actually like that, right? Let me just think about it. Them giving that extra thought for us will actually maybe unlock newer doors for us. So that is the way we need to make sure that that transition happens. So here marketing needs to play a role in making sure that the brand strategy that you have is, brand strategy doesn't change again and again, right? You generally take at least 12 to 24 months is like a standard block for a brand strategy, until unless something is drastically going wrong, right? So you have enough of a strong foundation which marketing can amplify in different places. And once you have done that, the next thing is for sales to make sure that each segment is hearing the right message which goes for them. And then after that you talk about your customer success, your existing delivery team is also talking about the same thing, that hey, yes, we are very authentic, we're quite a lot into quality design work, we're in accelerated design lab, all of that. So it's your job, and each person of your team should actually be like your unspoken salesperson, because there should always be 3 words, 3 key terms that every person in your team associates Yellow Slice with, right? And whenever they talk with the client, or they're even asking questions, they need to be sprinkling those words once in a while, because what is happening is, for the end client, the word is getting reinforced and permanently associated with Yellow Slice. So quality design work in India, we're the leading quality design agency in India. And then constantly the client will think, okay, so for example, if Anshu is saying, or Sonalika is saying, or Adisha is saying, or Sonal is saying the same thing, every they're saying it to different clients at different times, right? Over time, it's an amplification happening, right? It's like a large cascade effect happening, a domino effect taking place. So that is exactly what will highlight the brand.
Got it.